You're listening to the Tony Conley Morning Show on More Compelling Talk Radio, 1320 WILS and 1320WILS.com. Buying a home is still cheaper than renting one in every single one of America's 100 largest metropolitan areas. This is according to a new report from San Francisco-based real estate data firm Trulia, and let's learn a little bit more about this from Mark Bloom, who's a real estate expert for 1320 and Fox News Radio. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing great today. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Tell us about this new report.
Yeah, so it's an interesting report, actually. It's something that we've gone back and forth on a little bit over the last, say, 8 years or so, where the difference between buying and renting has flip-flopped, let's say, in a lot of major cities. And now we're back to a point where it actually is more financially, a better financial decision to rent the same priced house. To buy the same priced house than it would be to rent. And that's just because rents have gotten so high and mortgage rates are so low that there's an inequality there.
But what we're seeing is that younger folks still are not buying. They're either staying home or they're renting. Why is that?
Yeah, it's very funny. I think there's a really big divide here. So I just did a story yesterday for a local news channel in Dallas. I was doing a story on how millennials are getting into investment real estate. I work for the company I was in NetWorth, and we deal strictly in single-family, multifamily investments. And they're seeing an opportunity, and they're at a unique point in their life. But at the same time, there are a lot of them who both have just come out of a major financial downturn where they saw friends and parents, or even possibly themselves, experience a major loss in equity in their house, and a lot of stress because of that, and a lot of media attention constantly pounding that into their heads, as well as coming into or still being in a job market that's only slowly recovering. And so the revenues aren't there. They've got the student debt. They're scared. So that flexibility that rentals provide, a lot of times for that gap, is beneficial for them, and that is also driving up rental prices because that adds to the demand.
All right. So from your expertise, Mark, the key question is what's better, buying or renting?
From my expertise, you're better off to buy. You can look at any period in time and look 20 years past that period in time, and your house values will have gone up. Generally, in major metropolitan areas, over the next 20 years, even more so. Our cities are built out. Our populations are continuing to grow. We're going to see the supply-demand equation for real estate go berserk over the next 20 years. If you need flexibility in the short term, it might be beneficial to rent. That said, with mortgage rates where they're at, if you can qualify for a loan and you can buy this house, and then when you go to move, you turn this house into a rental and or an investment because rents are so high and mortgage rates are so low, then even more so, a great time to buy and hold for the long run.
Mark, most millennials have little to no credit and are just getting into the job market. What do you suggest to young people in regards to preparing themselves to buy?
I know this is going to sound like a simple answer to how do you prepare yourself to buy a house, but the first thing they have to do is establish credit, and one of the best things I've always told people that I was told to do when I was young is go get a Target card or whatever it might be, and go buy your groceries at the Super Target and put them on the card, and then walk over to the service counter and pay it off in cash. Just establish some lines of credit. Don't put yourself at risk by getting some massive credit card and just running it up and paying it off over the course of time. Use your credit card as an interim purchase for things that you could normally buy cash. Build your credit that way. That will allow you to obtain better and less expensive financing down the road.
Oh, interesting. I've never heard that before. Take your credit card, buy what you need, and go pay it off right away.
That's right. You don't need to run up unnecessary bills. You can use your credit card nowadays for everyday purchases, and then just use your cash to go pay those off. If you need to, if planning is not your best thing, just go walk over to the service counter and pay it immediately.
Mark Bloom is a real estate expert for 1320 WILS and Fox News Radio. Mark, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for listening to the Tony Conley Morning Show on More Compelling Talk Radio, 1320 WILS and 1320WILS.com.